afternoon, palette munchers. Today I'm taking the opportunity to yammer on about my favorite book series of all time that exactly three people have heard of. The book series in question is the Cat Who series by Lilian Jackson Braun. This one, right here. Big shelf. So this series is a bit nostalgic for me, personally, which is probably why only I like it and nobody else does. But because you're watching this video, you are interested. Maybe? Possibly? Please? So, the things this series has that can make it, popular to some people might be the fact that it has 29 books, a psychic cat, or coincidence if you choose to see it that way, we will get there, cozy mysteries, and a grumpy middle-aged man. My personal favorite type of main character. That was good tea. So a series is really only as great as the characters that it presents, and this series is no exception. All 29 books are centered around the main character by the name of Jim Quillerin, that is spelled with a Q-W. Yes, pretentious. I love it. In the series, he's anywhere from his early 50s to late 50s. It's never really explained, but it makes it very entertaining to try and guess the age of this grumpy old man. Who is Jim Quillerin? He's a formerly successful journalist who is restarting his career after a long time of poor life decisions and bad luck. And getting back into business in the journalist industry has led him to murder after murder after murder, which he solves with the help of a special friend. Come here, you. Come here. Come here. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. So, I don't know about you, but I'm a cat lover. If you're wholly against anything feline, I would say maybe skip this series, because if there's one thing it has, it's cats. The cats who play sidekick in— oh, okay, bye. The cats who play sidekick in this series are two Siamese by the names of Coco and Yum Yum. Coco being the more intelligent of the two, and Yum Yum being the fan favorite, with an endearing personality and a knack for trouble. Now, the hook of the series, as you might imagine, is the cat who could do a thing. And the cat in question is Coco, whose antics can be traced— don't ruin my tea? Cats. Coco's antics can usually be traced back to either psychic abilities or catly coincidence. It's really the reader's choice, which is one of the things that makes this series so endearing. But generally in a book, you can find that Coco gets up to some new shenanigans, and Quillerin is confused for the majority of the book, and by the end, the cat has solved yet another murder. So, it's pretty neat. You're getting hair in my tea. You are rude. But of course, the story is nothing without a setting, and a setting this series has. The first few books of the series take place in a city that most fans generally agree to be Detroit, although the name is never really said. But after taking a long hiatus and re-establishing the series, Braun took Quillerin and Siamese to a whole new world. The world of Moose County. Self-proclaimed to be 400 miles north of everywhere, Moose County perfectly encapsulates the small-town vibe that a lot of cozy mysteries actually do tend to miss. And it really engrosses the reader into towns like Pickaxe and Burr. Yes, that is the actual name. Burr, as in, cold. That's it. And the people who live in them. And you come to recognize names and histories and relatives, and it's absolutely fascinating. At least, I think so. And the best part is, you don't actually have to meet anyone. You can just sit in your corner and read your books, and everyone will just think you're crazy. And that's really the mark of a good series, isn't it? If people think you're crazy trying to explain away the family histories of imaginary characters, I would say that that is a book series done well. So I've given you the overview, but I haven't really explained why this series is so great and deserves way more attention than it gets. It's not really a new series, with the first books being written in the 60s, and really the series continuing all the way into the early 2000s, and while it's a little outdated, I think it still has the charm that lures readers into good books. Now, I can't speak for the world in terms of taste, but I can tell you what I love about these books so much, and why I think that they're a must-read. One of the things that really strikes me about these books is Braun's writing style. Just reading her books alone, I can tell she was very into French, or at least using French words that I can't pronounce and make me glad that reading is a silent activity. Her writing speaks in a very sophisticated way, with many references that would appeal to those who reside in the upper echelons of academia. Or maybe those in the average echelons of academia. Look, as somebody who lives about halfway up the ground floor stairs in that realm, it sounds pretty fancy to me. And I think that's enough. And it generally does appeal to the average reader and, those in said upper echelons. Another thing that really makes this series shine is the lovable characters. Of course, Quiller and the Siamese are very incredibly well crafted, but Braun did everything in her power to make every single side character, and even really the one-off characters, seem real and personable and in the moment. While young people don't really star in this series, the ones that do are well written and still appeal to the younger audiences. It takes an incredibly skilled writer to take characters that normally would just be older and not appeal to the younger generations and make them appeal to everyone. And Braun hits that mark just right to where the series really does feel alive. Well, until there's murder. I would say that falls solidly into the dead category. Now, I've done my fair share of yammering about books for the day, and hopefully it was interesting to you. If not, and you stayed anyway, thanks for keeping me company while I rambled about a middle-aged man and his psychic cats. To wrap this all up in a neat little bow, I highly recommend this series to anyone looking for a casual read with creative mysteries, cozy cats, and a grumpy middle-aged men who have to deal with said cats. So for now, I say goodbye, support your local libraries, pet your cats, and there's always time for one more chapter.